Hello, this is Hasina Momtaz presenting your weekly news highlights. Violence, including damage to vehicles, chases and counter-chases, exploding cocktail bombs, burning tyres, road barricades and processions for and against Hartal marked the BNP countrywide dawn to dusk Hartal. Police have arrested the joint convener of Sisha Sabak Dal from the BNP office in Naya Paltan. Dhaka Metropolitan Police said 21 people have been arrested for violence. This Hartal was called in protest at the clashes between Jamaat Shibir and the police, and a number of people have been killed. The Hartal was supported by Jamaat Shibir. Our correspondents Didar Chowdhury and Jibon Ahmed report. Cocktails exploded in the morning at TSC of the Dhaka University area. Chhatra Dal brought out procession at Mirpur's Bangla College in support of the Hartal. At one stage, they started picketing and burned a bus by setting it alight. 3 cocktail bombs exploded in Mirpur 11 area, Chhatra Dal, damaging a car. In Tongi's industrial area, the BNP brought out ad hoc processions of people onto the streets. After 3 cocktail bombs exploded near them, the situation became extremely tense. Demonstrators also came out in large numbers in the signboard area, and the highway was blocked off with trees. A bus was burned in Karwan Bazaar area near Wasa Bhavan. Near the BNP office, Jugmo Mahashahib of the BNP, Mr. Rizvi Ahmed, carried slogans and said the police have opened fire indiscriminately in the past few days, killing many people, including ordinary citizens, women and children. The police arrested the Sisha Sabak Dal leader from the premises. In the old town of Dhaka near Jagannath University, police chased away Chhatra Dal procession, firing 20 to 25 rounds of empty bullets. Cocktail bombs were also exploded in Mohakali and Gulshan area. In Mohammadpur, during the Sisha Sabak Dal procession, 1 vehicle was damaged. Vehicles were few and far between on the main roads in Dhaka city, but increased later as the day progressed. In the meantime, outside Dhaka city, the Hartal was marked by chases and counter-chases and clashes with police, during which Awami League and Chhatra League counter-processions and also processions led by BNP and Chhatra Dal. During the Hartal, 100 people were injured. 1 person died in Shatkira, Inna Lillahi wa Inna Ilaihi Rajiun. 2 persons in Netrokona were burnt by petrol bombs. In the past few days in Rangpur, Thakurgaon, Bogra and Tangail, 4 people died, Inna Lillahi wa Inna Ilaihi Rajiun, including a police constable. In Kamila, fresh Hartal was called in protest at the situation. In Rangpur, Chhatra League brought out a counter-procession to that of Chhatra Dal, and chase and counter-chases ensued. The police resorted to rubber bullets and tear gas, but violence followed. 20 people were injured. In Narayanganj, the BNP procession, which began from Diamond Chattar, led to clashes with police. District BNP head Mr. Taimur Alon Kondokar was injured along with 9 others. In Golachipur roundabout, the police were attacked by Chhatra Dal by pelting them with stones. The police retaliated by firing a few rounds of shotgun bullets to disperse the demonstrators. In Bola Boranuddin area, BNP and Awami League brought out procession and counter-processions, which led to violence and chases and counter-chases involving the police as a result. About 50 people got injured, including members of the police. 5 people were arrested. In Brahmanbaria, 20 cocktail bombs were used during clashes between BNP and police. The police fired 23 rounds of tear shells. 3 people were injured and 4 people were arrested. In Kumilla's Kandapur, Awami League and BNP brought out processions and counter-processions. Violence ensued and Awami League attacked the BNP office, damaging property and setting fire to motorcycles. Both sides exploded about 25 cocktail bombs. Police fired rubber bullets to bring the situation under control. 1 person was shot and 15 were injured. In Chandina, Awami League brought out a procession against the Hartal. In Shatkira, a bomb was exploded at Shatkira Awami League offices. 5 people were injured and 1 person died of his injuries. In Jesso Monirampur, BNP and Jamaat clashed with Awami League, during which 2 Awami League workers were seriously injured. They were sent to Jesso Medical College. In Chittagong, the BNP and its partner organisations brought out processions damaging a number of vehicles at Shola Sahar and EPZ. They also dismantled a train line in the area of Sitakunda. In Rajshahi, police fired tear gas and rubber bullets at a BNP procession. In the morning, they set fire to Awami League's offices in the Medical Gate area. In Bogra, the supporters of Hartal burnt tyres and set up barricades on the roads using trees cut down for this purpose. In Ghazipur, the BNP office was damaged by Chhatra League workers. 5 people were injured. In Joydevpur, one compartment of the train Turag Express was set on fire. The international community has expressed deep concern over the ongoing violence in Bangladesh, particularly over the impact that this is having on minority communities in the country. Mr. Ban Ki-moon, the Secretary General of the UN, has urged all sides to the conflict to act within the parameters of the law. The Foreign Office of the United States government has expressed concern also at the violence targeted towards the minority Hindu community in Bangladesh, calling upon all concerned to maintain religious tolerance. Our correspondent, Hassan Bayezid, reports. The Secretary General of the UN, Mr. Ban Ki-moon, has termed the trials of the war criminals as a national issue and called upon everyone involved, both supporters and critics, to act through peaceful means. The press has been notified by Mr. Ban Ki-moon's representatives that the Secretary General is keeping a vigilant eye on the situation in Bangladesh and that he is deeply concerned at the violence towards the law enforcement authorities, the toll on human life and destruction to public property. The American Foreign Office has expressed deep concern over the attacks to the minority Hindu community and to their houses and temples. Mr. Patrick Vantell, the spokesperson of the State Department of the American government, has said that America supports the trials of the war criminals and the call by the victims and families of the atrocities committed in 1971 in seeking justice. At the same time, however, America upholds the premise that trials must be fair. Human Rights Watch, a human rights organisation based in the United Kingdom, has urged the government and Jamaat-e-Islami to act with more responsibility and at the same time expressed grave concern at the loss of human life in Bangladesh. It has said that the continuing violence as a way forward is unsupportable. It added that Jamaat must be criticised for provoking the use of real bullets by the law enforcement agencies. Although Jamaat has denied the allegations of attacks on police, the media reports otherwise, it is alleged. Mr. Brad Adams, the human rights official for Asia, called for an immediate end to violence by Jamaat and also requested for the law enforcement authorities to act responsibly when using real bullets. During his recent visit to Bangladesh, the Honourable Indian Prime Minister, Mr. Pranab Mukherjee, said that India will honour all the promises it has made to Sheikh Hasina, including the sharing of Teesta water and the land border agreements. The Honourable President of Bangladesh, Mohammad Zilur Rahman, officially welcomed him at Dhaka. Our correspondent Ahmed Pupil reports. Pranab Mukherjee has visited Bangladesh many times, but this time the difference is that he is visiting as the President of India. He is only the second Indian president to visit Bangladesh after the independence of Bangladesh. This was also a reason why the president was accorded a royal welcome, which included a gun salute and red carpet reception, along with the playing of the national anthem upon his arrival at Hazrat Shah Jalal International Airport in Dhaka. The Honourable Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina met the Indian president in the afternoon at Shunagao Restaurant Hotel. The two leaders discussed bilateral issues of national importance, including communication, security, water sharing, electricity, business and trade relations and border issues. The Foreign Minister, Mr. Dipu Moni, provided a brief summary of the meeting and said that the Indian President has given his assurance that all the promises made to Sheikh Hasina are going to be honoured, including the Land Border Treaty and water sharing. The Indian President has also been honoured for his contribution to the War of Liberation of Bangladesh, for which His Excellency Pranab Mukherjee extended his thanks to the Prime Minister. Bangladesh's Foreign Minister and Finance Minister both held formal meetings with him, but the leader of the opposition, Begum Khaleda Zia, declined to meet the visiting President. BNP's Vice Chairman, Mr. Shamsher Mubin Chowdhury, notified the Indian High Commission in Dhaka that Begum Khaleda Zia will not meet the Honourable Indian Prime Minister President on security grounds. This decision has been criticised by the government. Mr. Dipu Moni, speaking on behalf of the government, said, "Declining this sort of meeting where a head of state is involved is hardly polite." The Honourable Indian President paid his respects to the Bir Shahids at the Sava Shriti Shroud. India's first Bengali president also visited his in-laws' residences in Narail, Kushtia and Tangail with his wife. He has been granted an honorary doctorate degree by the University of Dhaka. He left on Tuesday, thus completing his official visit to Bangladesh. The visiting Indian president has been awarded the Mukti Juddha Shumanona for his contributions in the War of Liberation of Bangladesh. The Honourable President Muhammad Zilur Rahman handed over the award at a state dinner at the Banga Bhavan. The President thanked the people and government of Bangladesh on behalf of himself and the people of India. Our correspondent Nazrana Chadwi reports that the present government has been acknowledging and awarding various freedom fighters for their contributions in the War of Liberation of Bangladesh. And in this tradition, the government, on behalf of the people of Bangladesh, awarded the Indian President, Mr. Pranab Mukherjee, Mukti Juddha Shumanona on Monday evening at an official state dinner held at the Banga Bhavan. The Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina was present amongst other high-profile guests. The first Bengali Indian President thanked the government and the people of Bangladesh and expressed his wholehearted gratitude. The Honourable Prime Minister in her speech stressed that mutual cooperation is a must if the Southeast Asia region is to make proper economic progress and development. She said mutual cooperation is required in mutual business and trade relations, cultural exchanges, communication links, getting rid of terrorism and fundamentalism, and in preventing women and child trafficking. The Honourable President of Bangladesh, Muhammad Zilur Rahman, in his speech remembered those freedom fighters from India and Bangladesh who laid down their lives for the War of Liberation in 1971. On Friday, 2 cocktail bombs exploded near the Nari Jagaram Manch at the Shahbag Square protest gathering. One RAB member was injured and immediately afterwards 15 people were arrested from the square and Bangabandhu Medical College. Moidul Islam reports. At around 4:50 p.m. in the afternoon, 2 cocktail bombs exploded near the Nari Jagaram March. The square was at that time full of protesters carrying slogans demanding the highest punishment for the war criminals. Immediately afterwards, as the bombs exploded, the crowd was filled with fear. One eyewitness said the cocktail bombs were hurled by 2 persons and were thrown from the 4th floor of the Bangabandhu Medical College. She said the person throwing the bomb was wearing a black t-shirt and she shouted out for people to catch the criminal. She said we all wanted to go upstairs to catch them, but the authorities did not let us in. The place where the cocktail bombs exploded are very near the Bangabandhu Medical College. The police are investigating whether the bombs were indeed thrown from the 4th floor and who threw them. Hassan Mahmood Kandakar, the Mahaparidoshok of Bangladesh Police, said the matter needs to be investigated and we are investigating. It is not an unexpected event. Benji Ahmad, the Commissioner of Dhaka Mahanagar Police, said this is not an abrupt incident but is an anti-state, anti-people, anti-social thing that only a few handful of people are doing. In the evening, the convener of the march, Dr. Imran H. Sarkar, announced the new programme of the movement. He said if the war criminals are not tried, then tortured women would not get justice. He said the movement will go on until the war criminals are punished. The new programme announced by him are: on the 10th of March, on Sunday at 3 p.m. in the afternoon, there should be a Jono Jagaran Shambesh at Uttara Sector 11 Churu Rasta. Senior politician and Awami League's previous General Secretary and currently a member of the Advisory Board of Awami League, Mr. Abdul Jalil MP, has passed away. He died on Wednesday at the Mount Elizabeth Hospital in Singapore after a heart bypass operation on Monday. The Honourable President, Prime Minister and the Leader of the Opposition, amongst others, expressed their deep sorrow at his demise. His death was also mourned in Parliament. Ashikur Rahman Chaudhry reports. Mr. Abdul Jalil became popular with the whole nation for his active role in mediating with the BNP in times of crisis. He died on Wednesday while under treatment at the Mount Elizabeth Hospital in Singapore. He was born in 1941 at Nagaon. His father was Faizuddin Ahmad. He completed his Masters in Political Science from Dhaka University in 1964. He actively participated in the War of Liberation and contested the elections in 1973, 1986, 2001 and 2006, winning all 4 times from Nagaon 5 constituency. He held the post of Awami League's Presidium Committee member. Thereafter, he was the General Secretary and finally became a member of the Advisory Board of the Awami League. In 1986, he was the Chief Whip of the Opposition in Parliament. He was the Minister for Trade and Commerce from 1996 to 2001. Mr. Abdul Jalil was kept on life support from last Tuesday due to health complications. He was 74 years of age at the time of his death. Respects were also paid to the senior politician and freedom fighter Mr. Abdul Jalil by the President, Prime Minister, Leader of the Opposition and other leaders and citizens. Mr. Jalil was given a guard of honour at the South Plaza of the Parliament after his janazah. This final time, Mr. Abdul Jalil came to Parliament not to speak for the people, but for the people to speak about him. Many leaders who fought shoulder to shoulder with him were present at the janazah outside the Parliament. At the call of Bangabandhu, Mr. Jalil gave up his pursuit to become a barrister and joined the War of Liberation. He was given a guard of honour. That's all for this week, but please join me, Hasina Momtaz, again, same time next week. Allah Hafiz.